We're continuing to follow breaking news out of Toronto tonight. Police there say 2 people are dead and multiple others are injured after an active shooter incident at the city's Salsa on St. Clair festival. That was in the city's St. Clair Avenue West and Arlington Avenue area. Police are advising the public to stay away from the area. CBC's Loretta Redekop is at the scene tonight.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, they were scared, and it was over. And they also said on the speaker system saying this is over. So everyone's, a lot of people have left. Some people are here just sort of, watching this crime scene here. But I think the big question mark, and some people in my group, they were asking, what does this mean for tomorrow? Because this is a 2-day festival. Will people want to be coming out here tomorrow? I don't know. I know that some people in my group were like, no. But, this is the end. And I think people really wonder what this means for a festival going forward as well. Because, you don't want a festival to have that reputation and for people to remember, oh, this is where shots rang out, people were killed.
Of course. Loretta, I know that it is difficult to sort of get information from police as they're doing their work, but you have, of course, covered this kind of stuff in the past. Tell me, what are you learning from the police? I mean, presumably they're also in pursuit of the person who fired those shots that result in those tragic deaths of 2 people and injuries of others. Do you know where they're at in terms of pursuing this person?
I don't. My understanding is that the person is still on the loose. But I mean, when I think of some of the crime scenes we go to, often as reporters, we're going there a little bit later and we don't see these officers with the big guns. It's more people who are, they're more traffic control, guarding the scene. But certainly it definitely looks like it is still a very active investigation here. Sorry, it's pretty noisy here. I'm just trying to move a little bit. But, it's much different from some of the scenes I've seen before.
That was the CBC's Loretta Redekop in Toronto. We're joined by CBC's Journey 2, who is also at the scene. Journey, you were telling us earlier on that you were there as a private citizen, like thousands of other Torontonians enjoying the festival. When you noticed frantic movement, people running, describe the scene for me right now. Where are you right now?
Deanna, I'm actually, I want to say just past the crime scene, meters away. You can see the tape behind me. I'm on the foot of Arlington and St. Clair. The scene is ghostly now. It's really been cleared out. And typically I go to this festival every year for the last 5 years, and it is completely ghosted out. There's just police officers behind me and a few people who live in the neighborhood who are very concerned.
Tell me, bring us back to those moments when the shooting was happening. Being there, just enjoying the festival, when did you realize that there was a shooting?
It was around 8:15. I got a call from a friend who saw police officers running with semi-automatic weapons towards St. Clair, just down Arlington. They saw people stampeding up the street. And then from where I was, a street over on Rushton, I could see people beginning to move a little bit quicker, but the dancing was still going on. So over the music on Rushton where I was, I couldn't hear anything. But people were starting to hear whispers of there's a gun, there's a gun.
Journey, tell me what's happening right now. I mean, we can see a little bit behind you, and it doesn't look like there's a big crowd of people. We do know that police have secured the scene, that they have told people to move westwards, and that it looked like people of their own volition started leaving the place shortly after those shots rang out. I understand that you were talking to some people at the scene. What have you heard from the people you've spoken to?
I've heard a lot of grim accounts of what happened here. I spoke to 2 teenage girls who said they heard gunshots, but not just any gunshots. They said, and I'm going to make the noise, they said it was like a semi-automatic weapon. They said they saw the victim on the ground receiving 15 to 20 minutes of CPR, that he was a black male about 6 feet tall, and he was bleeding from his shoulder and his side quite profusely. A lot of people have repeated hearing the same sorts of gunshots coming from the crime scene, and that it was just a horrible, horrible event that occurred during a otherwise happy and joyous day.
Journey, thank you so much for bringing us that. And I know that you will stay on the scene for us and will bring us more information as it becomes known. That was CBC's Journey 2. We have some new information to share with you as well. We do know that the Toronto Police said that they do not have further updates to provide at this time, that we will post to social media when more information becomes available, and that they are planning a scrum that is an unofficial press conference. So they'll be speaking to the journalists this evening, but they don't have the information on when. We have a clip from one person on the scene who described to CBC News what she saw and heard Saturday evening.
Just heard a lot of people screaming like, oh my God, he got shot in his face. And then we go to rush to see what happened, and then all we saw was like a whole bunch of like paramedics and police just like trying to give him CPR. But I don't even know. Like, that's all I saw, to be honest. Like, I didn't see much, but I just heard a lot of stuff.
So difficult to piece together exactly what has happened, but a very scary night during what's usually a very popular and safe festival in Toronto's St. Clair West neighborhood. We have a social media post from Ontario Premier Doug Ford. He said, "I'm devastated by the senseless violence at the Salsa on St. Clair Festival that has claimed 2 lives and injured others. My thoughts are with the victims, their families, and everyone affected. Thank you to Toronto Police and our first responders for responding to this horrific incident. The person responsible must be caught, brought to justice, and spend the rest of their life behind bars." So many questions on who this person is and progress of the police in trying to capture this person or persons who fired those shots. That is the news that we do not have right now, but we'll bring you more information as it becomes available. This is CBC News Network.